home and finance radio show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as trusted tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. I deliver it every day, and we have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Today is extra special. Now, I did note that I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I will. Yeah, we missed a very, very important celebration, so we might have to back up the truck. On the 4th, we had National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Got to have that one. I think Mitchell's watching us. He's probably a bit upset that he missed National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. But today we can continue on with our celebration. National Fresh Breath Day. National Wiggle Your Toes Day. And obviously, for those of us having beaten anorexia, National Root Beer Float Day. How many people remember, if you're watching us right now, Ron Siegel Radio, do you remember, or ronsiegelradio.tv, do you remember root beer floats? Where do you get your favorite root beer float? Just checking on that. Where do you get your favorite root beer float? Just a question for you. Checking on to the markets this morning, the Dow Jones, pretty much of a ho-hum day in the markets today. Not a whole lot of excitement. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's up 34.89. We're looking also oil up $1.31 a barrel, up $1.31 a barrel. What's that mean for gasoline prices? $2.86.5 is the national average. California, we're about 80 cents a gallon more than that. Obviously, we like taxes here, so we are, that's kind of, it is what it is. It's just a matter of California.
It is what it is.
Yeah, California liking the taxes. I did notice, if you haven't seen this one, I saw this morning, a website this morning. I'm going to see if I can find it again. But it was a very interesting site that I did see. I tried to bookmark it, but sometimes I'm not the quickest on the uptake when we come into bookmarking some of these sites. But it was basically talking about who's moving. It's the walk score. I'm going to have to find the site for you because it had some really cool information on there talking about where people are moving to and from. Kind of found that fascinating to see where we bookmarked it just so we can kind of see. But the problem is once you put a bookmark in there, then you have to figure out where the heck you put the bloody bookmark to figure that next step to it. So yes, I am trying to figure that out. HowMoneyWalks.com. HowMoneyWalks.com. And I was looking at that, trying to figure in the data, kind of tells you where people are moving to and from. So obviously being right here in Taxifornia, I thought, well, something would be interesting to see is money moving into California or moving out of California. And it shows that we are one of the only area that we're one of the red states, right? I mean, most of the time we don't talk about California as being a red state, but the red here means $15 billion in net worth leaving California. So where does money come to California from, is the question. Well, money comes into California from New York, $6 billion, Illinois, $4.5 billion, New Jersey, $3.25 billion, Massachusetts, $2.5 billion, and Michigan, $1.5. Where's the money going to? $14 billion. It's almost all of the intake coming from New York, Illinois, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Michigan. Just that alone goes to Nevada. Then we get $9 billion going to Arizona, $9 billion going to Texas, $8 billion to Oregon, and $7 billion to Washington. People leaving California, and yes, Orange County and LA County are amongst the largest wealth losses, over $1.5 billion leaving both LA County and leaving Orange County, two of the highest places the money leaves the state of California. Think about some of that information. Unreal how you see that. Yep, Caprice, you're right. Taxifornia. The money, I'm going to share this on our social media channels, where California money is going. The net worth, I hear people all the time telling me, oh, Ron, you don't know what you're talking about. Money is coming in. We're constantly getting more and more people coming to California. Yeah, we are getting more and more people coming to California, but we're not getting, well, the president says we need to bring wealth to the state or to the country. Well, obviously the policies of Taxifornia are not conducive to bringing wealth into our state, yet we've got so many attributes of the state. Many of us love the area. Certainly you can't go wrong. Well, I know it's pretty hot right now, but you can't go wrong with the weather. But Taxifornia, they're the ones that are just taking it to the people, the citizens here. I'm going to share that chart at the break. I'll share that out. I'll probably tweet it out as well, where money is coming. So the question then becomes, are we going to continue seeing prosperity in California when resources, financial resources, continue to leave the state? What is that going to mean for you? What is that going to mean for your wealth? Well, that's obviously something we have to watch, right? I mean, we got to know. Over at Chapman University, they've talked about this many times, is where is the money coming to? Where's the money going to? What are the net gaining states? What are the net loss states? So we constantly want to watch that. So we just have an idea. Once you have the knowledge, now the question then becomes, because they do this based on tax returns. That's how they look at it. They look at where people are considering their primary residence. So the next question then becomes, is it real, or are people just saying that they're leaving so they don't have to deal with California taxes? I certainly know a lot of folks who have done that, where they make their primary residence another state. They have a second home here in Taxifornia. What's the story on that? Just a thought for you. Well, we saw that money's leaving Chicago, or leaving Illinois, right? Obviously, the biggest city in Illinois being Chicago. Well, over the weekend again, violent weekend in Chicago, 10 people killed, dozens more wounded. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson plans to hold a news conference at 11 a.m. today. However, the Chicago PD says it has seen a citywide reduction in shootings by 30% this year. Police say they know some of the shootings have been random and some targeted and related to gang conflicts. Amazing. California company said it has created the first marijuana breathalyzer test. Has the potential to be used by police to detect whether drivers have used the drug. As more states legalize marijuana for recreational and medical use, law enforcement officials have grown increasingly concerned about individuals driving while high. Till now, police officers in the U.S. did not have any roadside means to determine whether a driver had consumed cannabis. They have depended mostly on field sobriety tests developed to catch alcohol use, or on personal observation, which is subject to deception. Oakland-based Hound Labs wants to make testing for marijuana as easy as testing for alcohol. Harvard University issued an ultimatum to a single-gender student groups. Go co-ed or forfeit members' opportunities to hold leadership positions on campus and to win the university's endorsement for prestigious postgraduate fellowships. Last week, a Harvard sorority became the first student organization to choose a third option, shutting down. The National Delta Gamma organization announced that its Zeta Phi Cambridge area chapter would close. The dissolution of Harvard's chapter of Delta Gamma, established in 1994, highlights the ongoing debate which has rolled the Ivy League campus over gender discrimination, sexual harassment, and freedom of association. See where that one goes to. Snapchat offers several features that can animate your face with special effects. However, doctors believe people seeking plastic surgery to permanently look like the filtered versions of themselves. Researchers from the Boston University School of Medicine are calling the condition Snapchat dysmorphia, form of body dysmorphic disorder in which people have an excessive preoccupation with a perceived flaw in appearance. Unbelievable. Holy cow, you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Millionaire to a Millennials, owning your own home can help you retire sooner. We'll chat about it. Can you be denied rental home because of bad credit? Wells Fargo in the news again. Ways to find your financial footing after graduation. Got a lot to cover today. All of that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. You owe it to yourself and to your family. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products for you. You just need to give us a call at 800-306-1990. We will get you set up so you can get the only place in the industry to get this, the Fast Pass Loan Approval. Gold Star Mortgage. So what is happening in the markets this morning? Anybody can tell you what the numbers are. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 63 points. And then we look over at the 10-year Treasury down, the yield, the rate down 1 basis point to 294. The Fannie Mae bond up 5 basis points on the bond. So the interest rates are down just a little bit. The question becomes, why? Not a whole lot of economic news this morning. Very, very quiet on the news front. The only news this week, a few Treasury auctions, some inflation data later in the week. The rest of the week, we've got the Tuesday, a 3-year Treasury note. Wednesday, mortgage applications. Thursday, like every Thursday, jobless claims. We've got the Producer Price Index, a 30-year bond auction, and Friday, bonds or the CPI. We are seeing bonds trading in a wide range between support of 101.23, overhead resistance at the dual ceiling of resistance, 50 and 25-day moving averages. So we got to be a little bit cautious, but because of the lack of news, we'll see what happens right there. That's one of the big issues, the big challenges, is that sometimes when you don't have a lot of news, and I get time like this where we've started, it used to be that you didn't have to worry a whole lot about some of the issues until after Labor Day. But with schools starting earlier and earlier in different parts of the country, we're starting to see now that people are coming back to work. It used to be very, very cautious, so to speak, that there was wide swings the last part or most of August. You would see some very wide swings because there was low trading on the markets. Well, we don't see that nearly as much anymore because the schools are starting earlier, the vacations are at different times. So we do see a little bit more in the way of activity, more volume in the markets. So it cuts down on the volatility just a little bit, but we are seeing again the Dow Jones Industrial Average moving up 71 points as we speak right now. Thought I would chat a little bit. We're doing a lot of our young people have finished school now, and we are seeing what are some of the things that they need to get on their financial footing right out of school. Now, we talked a little bit about the idea of how to get your college tuition to be totally tax-free. A lot of people, and I had a very aggressive individual I was chatting with last week. And so I go to a great CPA, and he didn't tell me that my college tuition could be tax-free. And I said, well, you're self-employed, right? And he said, yes. I said, do you have a corporation? He said, yes. Explained to him how to do it. He said, wow, I better go talk to my CPA about that. Well, you're right. If you haven't figured out how to get college tuition tax-free, maybe you need to talk to our buddy Todd Halterman, because he shares information all the time about how to disinherit the IRS, getting the IRS out of your financial world. So ways to find your financial footing after graduation. Recent college graduates, a lot to figure out, but one of the biggest adjustments they will face is their newfound financial freedom, which can be both exciting and challenging. The summer after graduation then is the perfect time for these recent grads to take some key steps to get their bearings when it comes to dealing with their own money. Number one, kind of like real estate. Have you ever heard of the conversation real estate? Location. Well, getting your bearings, the number one item is budget. Most important thing to do when you're first out in the real world is to take a good look at your financial situation. As soon as you land that first job and know what you will be taking home after taxes, start breaking down your expenses, the recommended amount of your income to spend on rent or housing. They say 30%. That's a very conservative number. Here in Southern California, you're going to be closer to 43 to 45%. But if you can spend even less than that by renting a smaller place or finding roommates, your financial situation will reap the benefits. Take into account your other expenses, car payments, cell phone payments, student loans, groceries, and be reminded that some bills such as electricity and car insurance can vary in price based on where you live. Number two, do your homework. I know you're a recent graduate and now you're still telling you to do your homework. You may have closed your textbooks for good, but that doesn't mean you're done learning. Take some time to do some reading about good money habits and financial strategies. You've already started by listening to Ron Siegel Radio. The more you know about money, the more confident you will feel about handling your own finances. Start saving right away. As soon as you start making money, you should start saving money. Best practice is typically to save about 20% of your paycheck. In doing so, you'll begin to build wealth in addition to creating an emergency fund. Most savings accounts allow you to automatically transfer money, so if you're on track with your budget, automating your savings will ensure that you're not forgetting or avoiding putting away money. Number four, you're never too young to plan for retirement, just as you should start saving right away. It is also wise to start contributing to your retirement from day one. Look into your company's 401k plan. I am not a big fan of 401ks, but put into the extent of the match. Some may not begin matching until you reach a certain age. Don't take this to mean that you shouldn't wait until then to start contributing. Put money into other, maybe more advantageous solutions. Again, we've had some folks on here who can show you the areas where put money away tax deferred, take it out tax deferred, and maybe never ever pay taxes on that money in a legal method. Companies typically allow you to begin a retirement plan and start setting money aside on your own. Number five, tackle student loans. You're likely staring down a pretty hefty chunk of student loans that may seem like they're going to take your entire life to pay off, but this doesn't have to be the case. First, double check when your grace period ends to make sure you don't miss any payments and get hit with late fees and extra interest. Also, do your research on repayment options and look for the one that best suits your needs and projected timeline. If you're unsure what is going to work best for you, you may consider consulting a financial advisor or loan specialist. And finally, if you can afford to put more money towards your loans than your monthly payment, you will thank yourself later when you're out of student loan debt long before you thought you would be. Number six, keep your credit card debt down. Similarly, try to keep that credit card safely tucked away in your wallet, but if you do accumulate some credit card debt, work to pay it off completely as quickly as possible so as not to damage your credit score. If you can't pay it all off, ensure that you're at least paying the minimum and paying on time. Remember, 2 payments every month, one right before the statement closing date, one right before the payment due date. Consider a side hustle. Millennials have seemingly perfected the art of the side hustle. Not only is taking some side work a good financial idea, it can also help you hone your skills and explore other avenues, which can lead to bigger and better career prospects down the line. And let's face it, help you figure out what you actually want to do with your life. You can also carry on the conversation on our social media platforms. Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook, Ron Siegel on Twitter, and you can also find us on all the social media platforms. Just a thought for you right there. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, a millionaire to millennials, owning your home can help you retire sooner. Can you be denied a rental home because of bad credit? And oh yes, Wells Fargo is in the news again. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So, we've got the Millionaire to Millennials. Owning your home can help you retire sooner. I don't often reference CNBC because generally in real estate they are wrong. But self-made millionaire David Bach explained that, quote, buying a home is the escalator to wealth in America. Home ownership can also help you retire early, that is, if you pay off your mortgage, unquote. Bach suggests that homeowners should, quote, take out a 30-year mortgage, but with the intention of paying it off in 25, 20, or ideally 15 years. I'm not a big fan of paying off the mortgage completely. There are much better opportunities for you in Southern California. I would never recommend somebody put $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 under their pillow and think that that's going to be the way to accumulate wealth. But again, 30-year mortgage is going to be far better than somebody taking out a 15-year mortgage and being stuck with that amount of debt. How does he suggest you do this? Well, here's the secret. If you're paying $1,000 a month, you're going to make $1,100 payments every month. Inform the bank that you're doing this and that you want the extra $100 a month to be applied to the principal, not the interest. Bach explains that if you keep this up, you'll wind up paying off your 30-year mortgage in about 25 years. Increase your monthly payment by 20%, and you'll have that mortgage retired in about 22 years. Bottom line, whenever a well-respected millionaire gives you investment advice, people usually clamor to hear it. The millionaire gave simple advice, but a home and pay off your mortgage early so that you can retire sooner with the money you will have saved. Just a thought. Now, who is David Bach? He's a self-made millionaire who has written 9 consecutive New York Times bestsellers. His book, The Automatic Millionaire, spent 31 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. He is one of the only business authors in history to have 4 books simultaneously on the bestseller list. He has been a contributor to NBC's Today Show, appearing more than 100 times, as well as a regular on ABC, CBS, Fox, CNBC, CNN, Yahoo, The View, and people. Well, The View kind of makes. I would take him off my reading list, knowing that he's a regular on The View. Holy cow! But that's just one issue. The idea, though, is a sound piece of advice in getting into real estate. It is a big, big issue, a big benefit. Because it's a combination, it's forced savings, it's leveraged appreciation. Do you understand? If you don't understand leveraged appreciation, that's the big issue right there, leveraged appreciation. So it's the only investment, or one of the only investments, that you can really say safely that if you put 10% down, you've got 90% leverage. So if the property goes up by 5%, you can basically say you're getting 50% return on your investment, your cash invested. Big difference than almost every other investment class out there. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Wells Fargo in the news again today. Not an exciting report for them. Another day, another fine. $2 billion fine for mortgage loan infractions. Wells Fargo scandals continue to pile up. Most recently, the San Francisco-based institution was fined more than $2 billion by the Department of Justice in a settlement tied to the Great Recession. During that period, the bank and its affiliates were engaged in what government officials said were some dubious practices that directly led to the weakening of the U.S. economy. Wells Fargo must pay $2 billion for decade-old mortgage practices. In the August 1 announcement, federal officials said that the hefty penalty was based on the bank's alleged origination and sale of residential mortgage loans that it knew contained misstated income information and did not meet the quality that Wells Fargo represented. Because of the alleged deception, investors and other financial institutions lost billions of dollars from investing in mortgage-backed securities. The Department of Justice said that Wells Fargo knew that a huge portion of its residential loans contained misstated income, but instead of disclosing this information, the bank doubled down and even heralded its fraud controls while failing to disclose the income discrepancies. Unbelievable. So what are some of these scandals from Wells Fargo? Well, Wells Fargo may refund the latest unsuspecting customers charged for pet insurance and more, charging for add-ons. In June 2018, the bank drew attention from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, who is still looking into whether the bank deceived customers by charging them for add-ons they never asked for, according to the Wall Street Journal. Wells Fargo said that it is in the midst of refunding the add-ons, which were for things like pet insurance, legal services, to hundreds of thousands of people. Yikes. There was one that I just heard this morning, that people going through with financial difficulties, Wells Fargo was calculating their income incorrectly and saying that they didn't qualify for federal aid, and then foreclosing on their homes as well. Other scandals, Wells Fargo earnings report shows scandals having negative effect. The earnings report shows there's evidence that the brouhahas are taking a bite out of the bank's bottom line. The institution's profits sank 12% in the second quarter, according to its latest earnings report. The bank reported recently that operating expenses were at $619 million and revenue was down about $500 million. In addition to disappointing investors, the bank reported far fewer deposits and loan originations, a sign that customers are being turned off. Wells Fargo CEO Tim Sloan painted the earnings report in a positive light, saying in a written statement, quote, "Our progress included making further improvements to our compliance and operational risk management programs, hiring a new chief risk officer, and other things." Wells Fargo slapped with sanctions for widespread misconduct. Unbelievable what's going on at Wells Fargo. You got to be careful of what's going on there. I would say in most instances, they're not a bad institution. They did take over for the federal government. This is one of the issues that you always have to be careful when you're dealing with helping the federal government, especially when it's in these headline issues. So Wells Fargo takes over some really, really bad portfolios. They buy these bad portfolios. They did not originate the portfolios. And then when there's a problem with the portfolio that they took over, well, then the federal government comes back at them and says, "Why'd you do it?" Kind of wonder about that. You know, Merrill Lynch had the same issues for a long time. Just a thought for you right there. Budgeting. We've been talking about budgeting this morning, so we should chat a little bit more about budgeting. How to save money in a relatively simple manner, and most people won't even think twice about it. Do you get paid every other week? There's a lot of people that do get paid every other week. If you're one of those people that get a paycheck every other week, twice a year, there's going to be a month that you get an extra paycheck. So the question becomes, is it beneficial for you? Does that make sense to you? Do you need that extra paycheck in those months? Well, if you don't have a real specific need for it, how about taking that money and saving it, putting it away into a savings account so that you can grow your wealth? Maybe even you put it toward paying off your mortgage a little bit sooner. Now, you know me, I'm not a fan of paying off mortgages. But here's the issue of what I am a fan of is put it toward the mortgage so it's saved, so you don't have access to it, so you're not going to blow it. And then take that same money and when it's time, when the timing is right, take that money out and put it into one of the safe, secure investments that we've talked to you about from Al Manfrey or from Todd Halterman. Because right now you can still borrow in the 4 or 5% range, and if you can get a larger rate of return, if you can get a 2% spread above that 4 or 5%, you're going to be far better off in the long run. That way your money is working for you. So let's think about this concept. Either your money can make money, or you can make money off your own efforts or off of your own money. Those are the two ways of really doing it. Well, that's the whole concept here, is just saving that way by letting your money, that spread, it's called arbitrage, Very, very common issue. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, can you be denied a rental home because of bad credit? We will chat about that one. Why you may get a smaller tax refund next year, and what to do about it. 10 companies are hiring like crazy in August, and some more ways to save money. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA-insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel lending team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel lending team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Can you be denied a rental home because of bad credit? That is this morning's subject. Well, the issue here, as always, is, well, it depends. Most well-known consequence of having bad credit is trouble getting loans or credit cards, but a low credit score can also make it difficult to find a place to live. Landlords, especially large property management companies, will likely check your credit report before approving your lease, and there are plenty of negative items that landlords see as deal breakers with potential tenants. But don't fret, you may still have options. What is tenant screening? Tenant screening is a process that many landlords will use to determine whether or not they should rent to you, bad credit or not. The tenant screening process will show the landlord if the potential tenant has a history of delinquent payments, and it will give them a clearer picture of whether or not they will pay their rent to them on time and if they'll take care of the rental property. During the tenant screening process, the landlord may request the rental application, run a credit and background check, contact previous landlords, contact the tenant's employer, or speak to any references they were given, and they will usually interview the tenant themselves in person. By most landlord standards, the minimum credit score to rent an apartment is 620, but many landlords look past the credit score and search for specific activity on a potential tenant's credit report. Ben Papale, a real estate broker in Chicago, Illinois, says judgments, tax liens, and collection accounts on utilities are almost always non-starters, but medical collections and late credit card payments aren't as problematic in the eyes of a landlord. Barry Mayer, a property manager in Corona, California, says the 2007 recession changed his mind on bad credit. Before, he never looked at applicants with bad credit because plenty of other applicants had good credit. Then suddenly, almost all the applicants had a credit problem. His quote, "I started looking at it more closely," Mayer says, "particularly after the recession hit. I had people who had declared bankruptcy, who had lost their houses, but I was still able to find some incredibly good people to rent to," unquote. It can be difficult to get into an apartment with bad credit, but there are a handful of things you can do to improve your approval chances, and we're going to give you 7 tips to help you get that apartment or house for rent. First off, find an apartment with no credit check or an independent owner. Large management companies are less likely to consider applicants with bad credit, so you want to look for a landlord or property manager who has a small operation, who maybe owns just a few units or properties. They're a lot more open to considering special considerations. Large management companies are unlikely to make exceptions because that opens them up to the possibility of getting sued if someone in a similar situation applies for an apartment and is denied. If you're dealing with an individual rather than a company, you may have an opportunity to tell your story and explain why you'd be a good tenant. Doing so might just be what puts the rental application into your hands. Explain in person. Marr puts a lot of stock in personal interactions. He says he always makes references, call himself. The one time he didn't led to a terrible tenant, and he won't make that mistake again. Now he knows there's a lot of value in meeting potential renters before deciding. If they're forthcoming and they meet with the person making the final decision to explain their case, they're way ahead of the game. Papale recommends renters with bad credit write personal statements to send in with their applications. To put the credit problems in context and make arguments for themselves, it might even be helpful if they can show proof of prior rental history and rent payments to show they are reliable. Be open about your income and savings when explaining your personal situation. Proof of stable income can go a long way. Come prepared with pay stubs so you can show that you make enough to comfortably pay rent. Rent should be less than 30% of your monthly gross. Knowing you're not strapped for cash will be a comfort to your potential landlord. If you don't have a steady income, but you do have a sizable bank account, bring bank statements that show you have enough savings to pay at least 6 months' worth of rent. A financial cushion is better than nothing, and it may bring an independent owner over to your side. Make advanced or larger payments. Money talks. Just like how showing your income can help your chances of getting into an apartment, making a large advanced payment can be a helpful gesture of goodwill. Paying a larger security deposit than requested or even 3 months of rent in advance will also elevate your renting potential in a landlord's eyes. Find a roommate. If you don't have your heart set on having an apartment to yourself, a roommate can be a satisfactory solution while you improve your credit. Give us a call at 800-306-1990. We can always put you in touch with one of the great professionals to help you improve your credit. That's something simple. Consider a guarantor or co-signer as a last resort. Repair credit for future apartment hunting. Make sure that you do that one. Give us a call, as I suggested a minute ago. Get that. You don't have to keep bad credit. It's just an issue that you might be doing on your own, but it is not a mandate. You do not have to keep it. There are ways of cleaning your credit. I don't suggest doing the illegal methods or the dishonorable methods, but there are many, many methods that can help you. Just a thought right there. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, again brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. What are you doing about it? The Credit Sanitizer site always gives you some really good tips to help you there. Some people may get a bit of a shock this year. The new tax law has been talked up as a way to put more money into the pocket of the average Americans with a doubling of the standard deduction and new lower tax brackets. But according to one new government report, it could take a bigger bite out of your refund at tax time. That's because with the change in the law, you may not be having enough withheld out of your paycheck now. The Nonpartisan Government Accountability Office is out with a new report that finds some 30 million Americans may owe the feds money at tax time next year. That's due in part to the recent overhaul of tax law prompted by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Now, before you panic, take note that about 18% of Americans are traditionally under-withheld and owe money instead of getting a refund. The impact of the new tax law is that 3 million more people are projected to join their ranks according to the GAO numbers. That would bring the percentage of population that owes money at tax time from 18% to 21%, or roughly 30 million of us. Put in those terms, it's not as drastic as it sounds when you hear that 30 million may owe taxes next year. And in truth, it's not necessarily the fault of the new tax law that more people may owe. After all, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did restructure the new brackets into 7 groups. Further, it also increased the standard deduction from $12,700 to $24,000 for joint returns, and from $6,350 to $12,000 for individuals. So what's to blame here is the lack of clarity around the new tax tables the IRS had to develop when the new law was introduced. Just got to make sure you're watching those things and make sure that you are listening every morning to Ron Siegel Radio. Set that first radio preset button to come back here, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.